Now my brother's getting into diagnostics.
So that's in body control, right? Let's see. I would expect I would probably see that code elsewhere as well.
What's the customer complaint? ABS light on?
ABS light on after they program the key.
Program the ignition key.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which in this case here would have just been 30 minutes.
The chassis wouldn't even connect to.
So chassis.
And it is an N, the fourth digit is an N for sure.
Yep,
Pontiac.
and then it would crap out.
No comm on the ABS on the body, right?
That's right. So we're going to be shooting right out there. Then if we're going out to our chassis, if we're saying chassis is not there, we're going to want to hit out there on that ABS module. So let's pop open that hood.
Do we scan any other modules for codes?
Yep, we certainly can. We had
Do they have any U codes?
U code there in our powertrain. If I go back into powertrain and we select our engine again, what was that?
Was it 3.4?
Is that what he had? 3.4?
Was it 3.4, Grish? E? VIN E 3.4? You're assuming. That's not a good assumption. You know what? I learned what happens when you assume on Staten Island.
What's the
Like you assume that the you assume the perch solenoid's okay.
No, it's the 2.2
And then,
Ecotech. That's
oh, 2.2. Okay.
All right, so it's a 2.2. So that's going to be this one here. Non-alternative fuel and F, N, 4-speed automatic.
Yeah.
And then we'll go back in here again and hit diagnostic trouble codes, DTC info, and we have no codes.
No
In
codes.
powertrain right now. Yet a moment ago it showed class 2. So does this now?
In powertrain.
Yeah.
Chassis.
And we're going back into chassis again just to
class
verify.
2 is on body.
Oh, body control. I'm sorry. That's right. It was in body control.
Body.
So let's go back out again. Do body, VIN N, Pontiac.
What I'll do is I just
All right, digital radio receiver, which we don't even have in this vehicle. Body control module, DTC, current DTC, and U1000.
Ooh,
So
interesting.
So we do have a class 2 data link malfunction. BCM's not talking to somebody he wants to talk to. And
This is a very generic code.
yeah, so it just means that it didn't receive, sometimes they used to have it listed as a state of health message.
State of health.
Yeah, so they look for a state of health. They want to see somebody out there say, hey, yeah, I'm here. Every once in a while, you know, whatever that time frame is, but every once in a while they want to hear somebody say, hey, yep, I'm still here. Yep, I'm still here. And he's missing that message.
And this is our current waveform on the DLC
That's
connector,
the data link connector,
through a
right?
breakout box, and that looks good, right? Keith? 0 to 7. Nice square waves.
I definitely think so.
Okay, so nothing's pulling the network down.
Nope. Intel on brake module. Hey.
Follow the brake tubes.
Yeah, I'm following them.
They go down, down. Someone.
You're looking for the block of all the brake lines.
So you see all the brake lines coming out of it?
Normally it's like somewhere
Yeah, I see them all over there. Yep, down there.
See them down below?
Down below. Right down there.
Nice spot.
Right under that radiator hose.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. They're kind of rusty.
Yeah,
Maybe that's the problem.
it's a possibility.
probably was it pulling the fender liner and the wheels get out of it.
Well, that's the question. Is it easier to pull a
probably
fender liner there?
Can we just...
Well, I'll tell you what, that car
Lift that
that's in the middle bay, actually I could probably pull that out now, so maybe I'll pull that out, we can run this thing up in here and see if it's easy to get at it.
I'm out with the guys, so I'm like, I never want to hear nothing about it. I never watch Sunday football, I'm not out Tuesday nights playing poker.
What are we doing? Tune-ups
So
on
what
every car that comes in now?
Well, we're looking for something easy and conventional to do a compression check on, so we don't either stand
Oh, okay, so not a BMW.
So no, we got my
For the first time,
my
I
trusty
know
07
BMW
Civic.
today.
How many Pico scopes do we have out here right now?
I got 1, 2, I think we got 3, right?
There's another one over there.
Okay.
There's one over there.
Okay, they're multiplying.
So now we're testing out some tools we have our hands on that we've never seen before.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to check their capabilities. This one's made by a company called Diagnostics.
Okay, that's the VISO. We're playing with a homemade first look sensor
Michael Nicholson made that one.
and also a vacuum transducer. This is my prototype.
Disconnected the ignition, good to go.
And we got this
All right, you want running or cranking?
on the same screen here.
Just hook it.
This is actual vacuum in the intake manifold, and this is the first look sensor, which in theory, is the derivative or the change in vacuum over time, right, Brandon?
Yes,
That's what the first look is?
So change.
So right here you can see that on a downward slope of actual vacuum, on the steepest part, the first look is showing the most negative value, right about there. And then as the pressure starts to rise, this is a positive slope, you see the 0 point, it actually crosses the 0 right there. There's almost like a phase shift. But both sensors can see the intake manifold, and on this system, the throttle body is always open. The vacuum is actually controlled for the amount of intake air by the valve lift. It's a BMW thing, so we don't expect, you know, consistent vacuum while cranking, but we still see the pulls of each individual cylinder. You can see there's a missing pull because we're missing a spark plug. So just learning tools, comparing the different responses, and learning some stuff about cars with awesome guys here. We got Brandon from, what's your organization, Brandon?
I am really not affiliated with, I'm affiliated with everybody actually.
Everybody.
Not officially. I'm with CarQuest, with WorldPack, with Motor Age Magazine. I'm a full-time technician in the shop. And we're just having fun. A bunch of guys, like-minded guys, getting together and see if we can learn something from each other.
Yep, this is a Saturday kind of poke around and play with cars day, which is awesome. Okay. And we got Keith pulling in a Pontiac Grand Am with an apparent no comma on the ABS module, so we'll get to that. Put my brother to work.
Don't forget our free coffee from the guy that we fixed with the vacuum leak.
Yeah, we found a vacuum leak on a Jeep with a stethoscope and a finger, right?
That's it. and his payment was a box of Dunkin' Donuts.
Beautiful. You couldn't ask for anything else, right, Keith? You know, all kinds of scanners and scopes. So we'll flip the camera back on once get anything else interesting.
To crank the engine over, and I inadvertently hit the wiper switch.
Uh-oh. Don't tell me you had a scope on the windshield.
So then I panicked to shut the key off and inadvertently hit the washer switch and got a face full of washer sock. If this wasn't a Three Stooges routine, I don't know what is.
What happened was...
Damn, why didn't you get the kids on camera?
So we're doing a single trigger.
So we're going to try to do a single trigger? Yeah, we're going to see if we get this set up.
So in cylinder.
Are we ready to go?
Yeah, shoot. Okay. No, I'm sorry. That was my fault there because I hit the button at the wrong time.
Is this zoom in or zoom out, Keith?
So it is a zoom in. So what you have to do though is you have to capture. You have to capture even a little bit more time on the screen. And so I'm actually going to make it like 2 seconds.
Do we want a repeat trick?
On here?
Or we just want a single?
Well, that's what I'm going to try. I think let's try it without as an automatic first.
Okay.
Rising. We'll sit there and set it on that trigger, and then maybe I'll catch it that way.
Are we ready?
Yep.
There's no detail.
See, so now we have this. So now that you have this there, you're going to lower this time, and then you get a little bit more detail out of it, but it's not...
Nothing great.
Yeah.
But we put this on a Pico, and you got tons of detail.
Well, that's what we're going to check.
But you know the specs of this, right? You have the spec sheet.
The spec sheet is built in.
Oh, okay.
So that's where it gets more fun there. So you have to actually go back home, and it's going to erase this from memory, which is fine.
But it only captures one screen, not repeated screens, right?
Right. So whatever you capture within this screen is what you're going to have that you're going to work with, and then you're going to zoom in. But it is a limited buffer. It's made as a beginner scope. However, you know, this is what we want to see. We want to see what the limitations actually are. You know, for what we do out there on a daily basis. So without changing anything else, right? Doing this exact same kind of setup, we're going to sit there and we're going to transfer this over to something like Pico, or we can put it onto Snap-on, whatever we want to do here. Yeah. But we're going to look at this using their same pressure transducer, though.
Oh, this is their pressure transducer.
This is their pressure transducer. That's set up there, which I love the fact that they keep the.
That's cool. So you got a metal line.
Metal line. We don't have to worry about any expansion or anything else like that.
I like that.
Keep in mind the idea behind the rigid pipe there rather than a hose is the acquisition of that signal is going to change relative to the size of the volume of the hose. So if the hose expands, it's going to alter the way your signal looks. It's going to what I call soft transitions.
It'll kind of soften the features and make the amplitude lower, and
you're going to lose that desirable resolution we want.
Right.
When we're analyzing pressure waveforms.
We're going to switch this over to Pico real quick just to see what it looks like on the cranking.
yes.
I'm sorry?
That's how I was gonna look. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I'll switch that over to there. We're already done over here on this end, which I just
Can we put 2 scopes on one channel just to do apples to apples?
I tell you what, top of my head, I want to see.
Wait, but probably get a T-splitter for a DNC.
I can't remember if I can kill.
Sorry, we'll go around. Hey, I might have my extension cable.
Do you want just a T so you can see on both scopes at the same time?
Do you have a T now?
I'll look.
Although that might interfere though,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well,
So-
it shouldn't, but
So here's what we do.
so you put it on
I
the.
think like so. I'm going to put this onto channel B over here. We can actually
Yep.
kill off the other channels over there. We'll just use channel B, and then we'll go right from there.
All right.
All over here. So we'll set up our settings on there.
You'd assume fuel injection may if I pull that. Maybe. So you got a cluster issue then, maybe?
No, actually, in this case here, it's going to be body control because the body control module is the only one that's flagging
That's
the
the
state of
module.
health message.
Okay.
He's the one that's flagging the state of health
So
message.
somebody put
Everybody
a
else is actually happy with it. So when they did the programming on the keys there, they probably went into BCM and tried to do the old SPS program that everybody likes to do and push a key in 12 minutes. Well, that lit up the BCM now. The BCM is not very happy about that. So we're actually doing programming to try to bring it backwards.
Wow.
To see if we can get it back to where it actually should be.
So how often do you see an ABS light, and then you're looking for an ABS module, you can't find one?
This is Staten Island, you know.
That's what I'm saying. This is only on Staten Island do you come across this stuff. What do you think, brother?
No, it's a good crash course in the kind of stuff that goes on.
Yeah. Being mobile, we really
It's like we had no com.
Interesting issues.
Does this count as mobile? You mean you're on a lift?
Yeah, well, yeah, no, it's true. We're cheating today.
So the ABS light only came on when they tried to program a key, an ignition key.
And that's what he told me, and of course that makes you go, okay, you know. But yeah, no, it sounds like a legitimate reason now.
Because usually when there's an ABS light on the cluster, that means the car has ABS. That's what you generally think.
That's right.
Not the case.
And especially when you have no communication to one, and you go and say, well, all right, maybe we have an issue with ABS, then let's go out there and check powers and grounds. Well,
We're trying
checked
to.
them, they're good.
Here's what the ABS module looks like. It's just, I mean, it might be a pressure regulator, but that's it. There's no electronics. There's no wheel speed sensors, no anything. There it is. There's the wheel speed sensor. No wires. So Keith thinks we can fix this thing with a programming to make the body control module happy and tell it that there is no ABS on this car, so don't look for it.
Don't do it.
The Zeus?
Yeah.
What do you think of this tool, Keith?
I'm not a fan at all.
Not a fan?
So you're gonna put me on the spot.
Uh-oh.
Then I'm gonna get another letter. But bottom line is, I'm telling these guys, I proved it out there. I had a Hyundai. Some of the guys may have even seen the video before I got the email to pull it back down. What happened on the one that we had there was the terminals on the top of a Hyundai fuel pump. They have a tendency to melt out in the fuel pump itself. You could actually unplug it by actually lifting out the connector. As you pull it out, the connectors, the pins actually come out of the fuel pump.
Oh,
so
wow.
I had one of these, and I was trying to help out the shop owner or actually their tech and teach him how it was working. And we could sit there and tap on it. We could see it on the screen, and we're actually catching it in the capture. I said, okay, good, let's pause it. And we paused it, and we go back through the buffer, and it's gone.
No.
And we said, well, what happened here? I mean, let's do it again. And we did it again, and again, and again, and again.
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
And so what it was doing was it was actually looking at the buffer, and it was just clearing it over and over again. We put excessive amounts of time on the screen. We could see it there.
Doesn't make any sense.
Like, so we could see it actually dropping out on the screen. The second that we paused it.
You're saying you
and we
zoom
go back
out?
in there. Yep, we zoomed all the way out. And it
So you
saw
do
it as
this.
an artifact that it didn't like, and it clears it out.
What do you mean it didn't like an artifact?
It did not like the fact that it was a dropout. So in calling them, I called Snap-on and I spoke to one of their top tech guys, and I said, hey, listen, here's what's going on with this and everything. And he said, his answer to me was, well, if it sees an intermittent glitch like that, it may just filter it out, or it will just filter it out.
Did you
And
have
I'm
peak
saying,
detect
well,
on?
why would you want to filter that out? No, I did not have peak detect on. But it was
Okay.
obvious. So will peak detect hold it? I don't know. That's something I'll test. But the fact that it would clear it out of the buffer because the Zeus is this all-helping scan tool that's gonna save us all and it's gonna teach us young techs.
So my question is it just specific to the Zeus? Would the
It
Varus
only
have
happened
cleared
with
it
the
out?
Zeus. I did it with the Zeus. I actually took my Varus and put it over there just so I could stop it, pause it, and show him
And
what
it
I
was
was looking
fine.
for in the current waveform. and it was perfectly fine. But we could not get it to stay on the Zeus.
So you're saying this scope here is not exactly the same as the
Oh,
older
it's definitely
Snap-on
not.
scopes.
This was made by another company. No names mentioned. That went Chapter 11 and blah blah blah.
You know, something to recap, the idea that they put in there as a feature to help clean up the signal for you, so there's no loss of acquisition. The problem is, guys like us that have to figure out these weird problems intermittently, it's desirable for us to see the drop.
You want to see everything. You want to see
that's
raw
what we're
data.
hunting for.
Period.
And the thing is, I think the idea was, like what Keith was trying to point out, is it's built to be helpful, to get rid of this undesirable, we'll call it noise.
Was it noise? Yeah. How does
And in fact, it was actually the fault that would have been missed had Keith been leaning on that tool as an actual
So it was a
capture.
very quick dropout?
Very, very quick dropout.
Okay.
So I haven't had the time to sit there and play around with one to see if I can recreate something of that
So
nature.
basically you're saying if we're, see there's no peak detect, and is there a filter? Oh shit. Let's see,
Yep,
filter.
there is a filter option, and the filter option was definitely turned off on that.
Okay, there's a filter can definitely mess you up,
Oh yeah, no,
but not,
definitely 100% it's gone.
like with very
But
quick
we did not put
things.
peak detect on. We were just looking at raw, just regular.
Yeah.
You know. Or actually, it's not really raw, is it? I mean, without peak detect, you're not really raw. Right?
But-
So peak
but the
detect is
fact
not something
that-
that you have to turn on a Pico or any other
Right.
actual, oscilloscope.
But you're saying you actually saw the glitch on the
We saw the
screen.
glitch. We saw the glitch. What we did was we put a tremendous amount of time on the screen purposely, and we sat there just so we could actually catch this little glitch that was happening as we were sitting there doing the tap. And sometimes you tap it, and sometimes it would be there. And other times it wouldn't. Other times you could just pick the whole connector up and just watch the current just completely drop off. The terminal contacts are inside the pump, so you had to hit it just right.
Okay.
But that artifact would be there. Excuse me.
Oh.
Oh, that's the guy who wants to pay you.
Oh,
Anyway.
oh, no. Hey.
So anyway, you would get this one little dropout that would happen there on the screen, and as we would sit there, we would pause it and then go back in there to go back in and zoom in. So you would have all that amount of time on the
Right.
screen, right? We would sit there and try to go in there and do like a zoom in. It would be gone completely. It wouldn't be there any longer. So we would have
So you go here, you hit max, it goes like all the way out.
Right, so we would start off like what we had on the screen was probably going to be about like X22. When we
Yeah.
would zoom out and then go back in a little bit further, it was gone. It was completely gone off the screen.
That blows my mind that they would actually, I don't know,
Yeah.
process the data for you.
Yeah, and that's
That's weird.
what I'm thinking that they're doing there, and that's the idea. But again, this is the only
Okay.
tool that's going to sit there and read the data for you based upon a code, right? So I don't know what coding and scripting they have written in there to lead you in that direction, but
So there's
You know.
like some aliasing going on, and they just filled it back in.
and they just and it's just not there, and there's not even
Okay.
anything there like when you zoom in like really close on it and then you try to zoom back out just to try to catch it in there. There's nothing that you can see there that says like it's missing from here. Like there's nothing there. It's just a flat line at that point there. And on the
Okay.
current on the current waveform, we're sitting there, we're watching it go up and down, and it was you could see like that it would be
undigested
possibly like in this one little peak, but it's gone. The
It's
major
gone,
artifact,
okay.
the drop down, it's gone.
The fact is, if you were unaware of that characteristic, you'd have been led down the wrong path.
100%. 100%. And this guy, and that's why I was there. I didn't set up the current waveform for. He had everything all set up, and he said, "I'm watching the current. The current's good." Now he didn't do any of the tap tests or anything like that, and he was right. The current was good right there.
At that
Started doing a
time.
little tap test, right? Because I'm saying this thing is, I know it's dropping fuel. I know that I'm 100% sure of it because they had the fuel pressure gauge out there,
Yeah.
and as they walked away from it and he slammed the door, I saw it happen. I saw the fuel pressure went like this and dropped straight down. I said, "Now we have something going on back here." So we had everything all set up, and I said, "All right, let's take a look." And sure enough, I sit there and I start doing the tap test, and I can see it. And I said, "All right, let's pause it there, and let's go over what this really is and what's happening."
You
here."
paused it.
I paused it, and it's gone. I'm like, "All right, must have been I paused it a little bit late there,
Right.
not enough time." No, we sat there and we did it over and over again. Just couldn't get it to happen.
So basically,
so now I'll
none.
get a letter again from Snap-on.
No, your tool is the lesson here. Play around with it. If you see something, zoom in, zoom out. Make sure the data's still there, right, Brandon?
Absolutely. You have to. It's important to know the limitation of your tool. So like Keith mentioned, if you weren't aware of your limitations, he would have missed that problem and likely misdiagnosed the car, or definitely spent a lot more time on the vehicle diagnosing it than he should have.
Right.
Needed to.
You trust your tools. You have to trust
You
your
have to.
tools. But then if they let you down, it's kind of a shame. So we're in the Grand Am and we want to fix this problem. ABS light is on with no ABS modules. How do we do that?
All right. So since we don't know what they actually did to get there, we're going to go into body control module, the one that was setting the code before for that state of health message, saying, hey, somebody who's supposed to be there is not talking to me. We're going to go into special functions, and we're going to go down to new BCM setup, even though it's not a new BCM. Again, if they tinkered around here, I don't know what they did. So yes.
New BCM. Okay.
All right. That's theoretically going to do it. It's going to say BCM is locked because they can only be programmed once. All right. So BCM is locked. Great. Unable to program the STM part number. Would you like to program options only? Hit yes. And what we're going to look for is to see whether or not it shows ABS in that list. Sometimes it takes a minute to come on. There we go. It'll tell you look for enter to activate and deactivate the highlighted option.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to go in there and we're going to see if it's activated. And look what's activated. You see that there?
No kidding. So the asterisk means the BCM is looking for that module and it's active.
Yep.
So there's no cruise control.
So which it does have cruise control.
Right.
So we're going to fix that. We're going to come in here. We're going to say yes to cruise control and no to ABS.
And remote keyless entry.
And remote keyless entry, we don't know if it has or not. So I'm going to choose. I'm going to leave that alone as it is.
Manual
and if that becomes an issue later on, we'll know about it.
Okay, so just cruise control.
Because I don't think I could press his eyes all day, and I don't think it's going to make any kind of choice, you know. But
he's got a grenade for a cigarette lighter and a American flags.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
America. All right, save options. And after we do save options there, it's going to say continue again. And sometimes it'll give us different options. So is it a USA? Yes, it is.
Yeah, save options.
I don't get much more USA than this car. New BCM setup is complete.
Okay.
Even though it's not really a new BCM setup, right? But we changed some options. So if we exit out of this, remember we had our ABS and brake light on before. I'll take that from you.
Okay.
So we had our ABS and brake light on before. Let's see if we can get that without the light on there. You can see we got a heck of a glare.
Brakes, yeah,
there we go. All right. So we got brake and ABS there. And if I turn the key off, and I turn the key back on, and we fire this thing up, notice already ABS is gone. ABS did not even light on the bulb check.
That's
now brake light's on right now, but I got the e-brake is on. Take the e-brake off, and we are fixed.
Wow.
So how did they do that when they were programming the key? We do not know, nor do we really care.
Yeah, do we really care?
Right?
It works. Amazing.
Result is done.
So we didn't need to do an actual programming. We just needed to change the options.
We just needed to reconfigure the options to match what the car actually has.
With the Tech 2.
That's it.
And it's like a Snap-on and Veris couldn't do this. You need a Tech 2 to go in there.
I don't know if any of the ones from the Orient can. So I don't know if the launcher or the Autel can.
Okay.
It possibly. But I do know that I've never seen it in the Snap-on. So.
I see. So we could try it with an older Autel or something, see if we can get in there.
Sure. Yeah. I would actually say an older Autel, something that has the older software in there, might have a little bit of a better chance at it. Sometimes the more updated they become, the less they carry for these older, these older cars. So
we fixed his cruise control and we fixed his ABS light.
Ta-da! And look, on and off light. I wish we would have checked that before to see if it was actually working. But
well, you can reprogram it back the other way.
That's right.
Nice. Oh, that was really cool.
Yes, sir.
Fixed from the driver's seat.
That's it.
We gotta get impressions from the new guy. What do you think about all this debacle?
Yeah, I mean, I certainly wouldn't have figured that would have been the case.
Yeah.
The whole not having ABS. It has an ABS light. I guess it was cheaper and easier for GM just to make one instrument cluster with all the same lights and all that. Just slap them in all of the different cars.
Variables, man. Always variables.
Yeah.
I've never seen this. It's got a light. It's got to have the module, but nope, not in this case. So thanks a lot for watching. We're gonna get back home to Pennsylvania soon. But if anything else comes up, we'll turn the camera back on.
All day.
So we're messing around with the original Moxie DOS. This is Scotty Kilmer's favorite scanner, by the way.
Yeah.
So everything's good. Yeah, no ABS light. We go into new BCM setup. It says, yep, that you want to set it up. Same exact menu. It's locked. Program options only. Yes. And same thing with the asterisks. Ignition should be on. And look, originally, this is the original screen.
Yep.
So it's back to that default. ABS is present, no cruise control, no manual transmission, no remote keyless entry.
Okay.
If we save it like this, the ABS light is actually going to come back on.
If you cycle the key off and then cycle the key back on again.
Yep. So even if we escape out of this, right? Cycle the key off. Cycle the key back on. There it is. ABS light is back. And we start it, and it's going to stay on. And it'll come back on now.
There.
So it's back to its original not set state.
So you got your proof of concept.
Yep, so we have to go back through this and select the right asterisks. But that's pretty cool that the Autel can also do this.
Back when they made real Autels.
Right.
Not those slow things that they give me nowadays.
So we're gonna try your Autel next, Keith, and then the launch.
You really have that much time? Oh, the launch will be no problem. Yeah,
Launch no problem?
yeah, launch no problem.
Okay, okay. Just by comparison, the old launch does not have the BCM programming function. We go into special function, and all we have is output control. We don't have anything else. So, score 1 for the old Autel on this one. So this is the new launch.
This is the new launch. Let me just see that this is actually legit. Okay. Now we have to cycle that key off and on one more time there. We just
all right.
We just have to get theory.
Off and on. ABS lights on.
right
Yep. Okay.
Okay, so maybe it didn't take it yet. Oh no, it's off.
Nope.
And it's on again.
It's on. So it still
Alright,
thinks
so
it has
right now it
ABS.
still thinks it has it. So we're
Yeah.
going to test this out. I think that when we come in here and we go into module information on this one, we go into version information and option configuration, ABS equipped,
Okay.
right? If we hit that again, I don't know if that's going to turn it off a
Entry.
second time or if it's going to turn it on. Let's see. It says ABS
It says
equipped
yes.
yes. All right,
So if
so
you go
when we go back again,
Uncheck it.
I don't know if we have to cycle a key in between or
Okay.
not, but we'll give it a try. So ABS equipped, no. Please select at least one item
Well, it has
because it thinks I'm in here for something.
it has
right?
cruise control.
Cruise control,
enabled.
right? So cruise enabled. Okay,
Okay.
let's do that. Just how we make some kind of a
Cruise
change.
enabled, no.
Well, we want it to be cruise enabled, yes.
All right. Option configuration.
That's interesting. All right.
So it didn't change.
So it didn't actually change it in there. So
Please choose one item at least.
So bottom line is, this case here,
Yeah.
you need the old tank.
Holy crap.
Because like I said, as these things got newer, they start to eliminate some of these options, especially for some of these older cars. I mean, think about what this thing is, right?
Right.
It's nothing more than a tiny little Snapdragon processor in there with, you know, not too much information there. They can fit some info in there, but they're constantly doing updates. They have cars in here that we're never ever going to see. I mean, unless we're
So they're like, oh, we'll get rid of this option since no one's ever
yeah,
going to
so
use
they're
it.
just so they'll sit there and they won't spend as much time to sit there and update those options. Now, on some of the older ones, there, if you have the
They actually had Daewoo in there.
Oh yeah,
The
they have
Snap-on
Daewoo.
didn't.
Yep. So on some of these though, if you actually go in there and you let's see, really quick yes, let me just say okay. So on some of these here, like when you actually sit there and you look at all your version informations, let's take all right. So let's do GM. On some of the tools, like I choose to erase all mine. You'll have the older versions here.
Yes.
And now, if you
This
save
one
your
is-
older versions, or if you save one older version, chances are you could probably still use that
You might
and it
have
will
it.
work okay. But since it's newer versions that are in there, they really don't pay as much attention
Right.
to some of the
This
older
is
stuff that's in
91 to
there.
2019.
That's what it says,
However,
but it's
some of the stuff is
right.
not there
Some
anymore.
of the information is not going to be there quite as much as it was
Interesting.
earlier.
So I think the last tool we have to try is your new Autel.
Well, you got
Oh,
the
must we
customer
really?
fit brain,
Because the
though.
customer wants to take the car.
All right, place bets now. Is the new Autel gonna match the old one in functionality and resetting this BCM?
Got a head start because we actually already booted it up, so you got a head start. You have to wait that minute and a half.
Remember watching that video and cracking up when you were waiting for this thing, Keith?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
maybe YouTube, we gotta subscribe now to you guys, or what? Gotta give you guys a call.
Let's see, read the VIN. That part was fast. Decoding the VIN, 4-speed auto. Yep. Place bets now. Alright, diagnosis, control unit, body control module, special functions, new BCM setup. Hey Keith, we're getting in.
Yeah, it's working.
BCM is locked. Fail to program the part number. Continue. Options only. Yep, does the same exact thing.
Very nice.
And let's see, so manual transmission, cruise control, enter. ABS, enter. Just cruise control. Save options. Okay. USA, save options. New BCM setup is complete. Alright, cycle the key. Yep, that's what happened last time. Start up. ABS light should stay off. I don't know, Keith, I'm pretty impressed.
I can't believe you were actually moving through the screens that fast. I have video proof. Don't even look at me.
It matches the old one in speed at least.
Yeah.
It's, oh man, now I'm tempted to buy this thing too.
I'm gonna have to buy it.
I'll buy it off of you. What's your price?
You might just find it laying there. Just check behind my car to make sure it's not.
Oh, it's a
keeping
wheel
it from
chuck?
rolling
No, you
backwards.
use the Load Pro for that. we already discussed this.
Hey, you guys know Joe? Joe from Joe's Auto Electric?
We'll leave a link in the description, right, Keith?
That's it.
Absolutely.
What tool are you talking about over there?
The Autel. Also known as Awful Tel.
Keith is like the Autel.
How'd your battery work out on the Autel?
Battery.
Yeah, didn't you have a battery issue with you? Oh no, it was a power button,
I fixed
right?
it. I took it apart.
Oh, you had to take it apart?
On one of these, the minis?
No, on the other one, the newer one.
The Max, the Elite.
That's the Mini.
This is the mid, like a
That's
small
the
one.
Mini. Yeah.
I've never used that one.
It's exactly the same, with the exact same processor as the big one.
It does have the same processor.
Yeah.
Same functionality, right?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't mention that to a lot of people that were out there at the time. That thing was 1,500 and the other one was 35.
Does that thing have bi-directional and all that?
Yeah, everything. Yeah. Yeah. It was a complete copy, and then Autel got smart, and now they made 37 different versions.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I have an Elite, man, at the shop now, and I have a Pro and an Elite.
Alright, so we're done.